In a world of wireless communications, one man was unavailable to take your call. Now, action has a new number, and evil gets disconnected. Prepare to leave your message. Get ready for Voicemail, the movie.
It's time for the Droids Movie Review.
It's happening again. Sharknado 2, the second one, premieres Wednesday, July 30th at 9, only on Sci-Fi.
Alright, welcome to the Droids Movie Review. I didn't actually watch this. I haven't brought myself to it. So Rick decided to be the sacrificial lamb. Say hi, Rick.
Hello. Yes, I enjoyed it, so I don't consider myself sacrificial.
Wow. And it's been a while since he's been on the podcast. You won't believe this. He's not going to drop.
I shouldn't. If I do, then I'm on a brand new computer with like hardline, and I should not drop. If I do, it's a sign that I'm not supposed to do this. So.
It's a sign from the gods that said, no, he's not allowed to have this. All right, so we're going to talk about Sharknado 2, the second one. I don't even know where to start. How do you describe a train wreck full of amputated midgets, prostitutes? I don't even know.
Well, hold on. Let me first ask here. How far into spoilers do we want to go?
Well, as long as we say spoiler alert, which spoiler alert.
See, I don't want to spoil it for you though.
No, don't worry. I hadn't even finished the first one, so we're pretty much safe right here. But me and Rick were talking just before we started, and Sharknado 2, the second one, currently holds a whopping 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. That's definitely not a good start. But let's just tell me about the storyline. Where does this take off?
Okay, well, if you've seen the first one, there's tornadoes that form out in the ocean. They then pick up sharks, and then they come on land, and then you have a tornado with teeth, as they say in the movie about 4 or 5 times.
I guess my first thing you just right there is you say, and they come on land? Like, it's
yeah,
like you don't even believe it. You're just like, it happened?
Well, the tornadoes come on land, and the sharks fly around, and, they take people's heads off. Typical sci-fi channel, great quality graphics, and, people getting beheaded and cut in half and everything like that. But the plot for the second one was Ian Ziering's character, his name is Finn. He went through after the catastrophe in Los Angeles with the original Sharknado. He is going up to New York to see his sister, and another Sharknado happens in New York. That is the entire story.
Sorry.
They didn't even have any build-up. There was no build-up whatsoever. Literally, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, you see Ian Ziering on the plane, him looking out, and a shark hits the plane. Like, there's no build-up to it. They pretty much just looked at it and said, "You're watching this for a Sharknado? Here you go."
So no storyline, so we can go ahead and say storyline-wise it's just lost cause. We shouldn't even talk about it at this point.
But that's the thing. With a movie like this, you're not watching it for the story. You're watching it to see a train wreck.
I'm just trying. I'm just envisioning this. Like I know I'm gonna end up trying to watch it. I'm not gonna say watch it because that provides the possibility of it being finished. I'm gonna say try. That's gonna be the main adjective, or main verb or whatever. Okay. So storyline wise, we'll just get back to that. Ultimately, Ian Ziering saves the day. Right.
Pretty much.
Save the day? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is there at least a chainsaw scene? Because that's one thing...
There is.
Because that's one thing that everyone talks about from the first Sharknado is about the fucking chainsaw scene. So
yes.
There's got to be a sequel with a chainsaw. God.
There is absolutely a chainsaw scene, and they make sure that you are very aware that there is a chainsaw scene. FDNY, the mayor of New York, specifically hands him a giant fire department chainsaw and says, "Here, I think you will need this." He looks at it, says, "Awesome." Minutes later, spoiler alert, a giant great white comes flying towards him. I don't even want to say, like heroically, just holds the thing up and splits the great white in half. Meanwhile, not covered in any blood whatsoever. The truck has no blood whatsoever. The
Sharks
chainsaw
don't
has
bleed.
no blood whatsoever.
Sharks don't bleed.
Oh, they bleed all over the place in the rest of the spots.
God. Okay, so if I guess on a score out of 5, where would the storyline be? How many points or whatever out of 5?
If you're looking for storyline, it's a 2.
Ooh,
There is no storyline,
I think a 2 is being nice.
they made it very clear that, like, as soon as you start watching it, that they are not focusing on story. This is a balls to the wall shark catastrophe.
That's a good way to put it. A shark catastrophe. Okay.
That would be a shark catastrophe.
Now, understanding, would this even be considered a B-listed film, or is this like a D-listed film? Like, because it's going to lead to my next, I guess the next thing we can talk about is the acting, where we can kind of identify, is this a B-list film or a D-list film? Being as which this is the sequel to an already shitty film, and they're not hiding the fact that not only is it a shitty film, they're promoting it as a shitty franchise. The acting has also been notoriously shitty. What's the difference in this one that stands out from the previous ones? Sorry.
Well, I have one comment before I go into that, is I want to know, why is Ian Ziering always angry? If you watch his face in either the first one or the second one, he always looks just angry, and I think that's supposed to be his serious face.
I don't know. Maybe it's because his character's name is Finn. Ironically, I don't know. I mean, he ran out of 90210 movie money. Like,
And I've come to the conclusion that Tara Reid is pretty much Kristen Stewart. She has no emotion on her face at all. The acting, I'm not even going to touch on the acting. It's terrible, and it's supposed to be terrible. But the cool thing is there are tons of cameos in this that as you're watching it, you will be like, "Oh my god, that's awesome." To start off with, spoiler alert, Kelly Osbourne is a stewardess on the plane. Will Wheaton is on the plane. Spoiler alert, they don't make it.
oh, of course, it's Will Wheaton.
And then there's so many other ones. We've got Vivica Fox. We've got Biz Marquis, who comes in and does a part in a pizza shop. And I mean, there's so many people in here. Jared, the Subway guy, is in this.
The Jared the Subway guy is in Sharknado.
Yes, and he's still preaching eat fresh.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
I also saw Judd Hirsch that
Yep.
he was in. I was like, come on.
Yeah, he actually has pretty. I don't want to say pivotal, but
Good size role.
it's a good sized role. Yeah, and then I mean we
Kurt
got like
Angle, the wrestler.
Mark McGrath and Andy Dick.
Oh, well, fucking Andy Dick is in everything. Fucking guy is just trying to make money to live at this point. Who else did I see there? I saw Perez Hilton, who is known for being a huge gossiper in the celebrity life.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yep.
Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
If
Where do you
nothing
start?
else, the cameos are great just to watch. Downtown Julie Brown. I mean,
Do you think everyone's just like, oh, they're doing a casting call for Sharknado 2? I mean, I always wanted to know what it'd be like to be in a train wreck movie, so we can go strike this one off the list. Off to Sharknado I go.
I mean, the thing to think about it is, yeah, it is a train wreck movie. They don't set the expectation of anything else, but it's popular because of that. So, I mean, they're probably not getting paid a whole lot because it's Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's Sharknado.
It's kind of like you're just still bewildered that you watched it. You're just like, I don't know.
I won't lie. We watched the first one a few days ago, and then they were talking about the second one. We were genuinely excited last night, waiting for it. And I sat and took a look at it, and I'm like, why am I so excited? But it's well worth it.
So, what would you give the acting out of 5? I guess I would say. What would be the score on this one?
What's the lowest score I can do?
Well, 0. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you could try to go into negatives. I don't know.
we're going to 0 on acting. Yeah.
Ooh. Didn't even care, eh?
No, and that's one of the things. Like I said, they were specifically going for that.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. So
hold on. Before you even go to that one,
Ooh.
okay, I'm gonna touch on the acting again.
Oh no, we're not done.
I'm gonna do a huge spoiler.
Okay.
Okay. In the beginning of the movie, Tara Reid gets her hand cut off.
Oh, I bet that's handy.
Now, can you guess where it's gonna go?
Probably her box.
Well, no,
I don't know.
I wasn't going that direction.
Ian Ziering's head? I don't know.
I was thinking like, Planet Terror.
Planet Terror?
As soon as I saw her hand get cut off, I'm like, please tell me they are not going to like attach a chainsaw or something to it.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
They attach a buzzsaw to her hand.
Oh my god. That's... They should lose even more points. Like, hey, I watched this movie called Army of Darkness, and they attached a chainsaw to the guy's arm.
Yeah,
Happened in the 90s.
They pretty much touch on every cliche that you can hit.
That's upsetting.
But it's so worth it.
I don't really know. Okay, so let's move on to the presentation. I think we can't hide the fact that this is clearly a quest for money. So, like, not even good money. It's like, well, if this made a nickel, we'd be happy. I guess that's how they're looking at it right now. I mean, presentation in terms of how was it shot? Was the special effects cheesy? Were they even trying? Like, so far, it just sounds like they just walked on a set and said, hey, let's just stand around and shoot the shit and act like sharks are flying at us. I guess that's what it sounds like it was morally about. So was the presentation worth it? Because I remember the first one, it's like they weren't even trying. Or it reminded me of that horrible fucking movie that Stormy watched with the double-headed shark.
The two-headed shark, yeah.
The two-headed shark, and I couldn't watch it because of how bad it was, but she loved it because it was that bad.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it has its niche. It was the presentation was better than the first one. You can tell that the first one, as you're watching it, they don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be, Piranhaconda kind of thing. Typical sci-fi, stretching the limits. This will never happen. But since they gained the popularity and they have the fan following, they did, they dumped a bit more money at this one. I'm not going to go as far as to say the special effects were good. Again, spoiler alert. Ian Ziering riding on a great white, like it's a horse in the tornado. No, no.
Not even. I just don't even know.
And as I mentioned before, he gets the chainsaw. He cuts the shark in half. There's no blood anywhere. Like, this thing is spraying blood all over the place. Yet there is not a drop on him, the truck, the chainsaw, any of it.
Alright, so presentation-wise, is it even going to get a point in that category, or we're just going to just look away?
I'm going to give it I'm going to give it a 5, just because that's what you go in expecting.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, Jesus.
it
okay.
did not fail to deliver.
Now, and finally, replay value. Just would this be something you would go out of your way to purchase? Probably not. And that's how you got to look at it. Is this something that you will rant and rave about it? Probably, but would you want to watch it again?
I would probably watch it again. Just because you watch it and it's pretty much a comedy. Would I purchase it? I don't think so. But I was sitting there text messaging with a friend like, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" Like, really, Andy Dick, and So there is that aspect. Replayability. If it's on TV, hell yeah, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna watch. We're gonna sit and laugh.
And what would you give that out of 5?
For replay, honestly, it's probably a 4 or 5.
4 out of 5.
I'm not gonna go out of my way. I'm not gonna buy a copy of it. If I see it on TV again, yeah, I will watch it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so what's the final impression? Like, if you have a message to give the audience about Sharknado 2, what would it be?
If you want to watch something, do not expect that you are going into a high-dollar video. If you go in to watch either of the Sharknados, expect a train wreck, laugh at the train wreck. You will not be able to turn your eyes away from it. But don't expect high-caliber acting, high-caliber video, high-caliber special effects. If you go into it with very little expectations, you will get exactly what you want from it.
Yeah, nothing high caliber. I guess that's the subliminal message that I kept hearing in that final impression, final thoughts.
Oh, really? I wasn't trying to be subliminal.
I don't think it's high caliber. I have this sinking feeling that it's not. Okay, well, definitely thank you for giving us the quick review. Well, you said you didn't sacrifice yourself deep down inside. I know you did.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, I was genuinely excited. So. Who
Okay.
doesn't watch an epic fail?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to watch it. It's just kind of like one of those. I could watch it, but I'm not sure. Would I be mad at myself if I did? Yeah.
I think you could you would get a kick out of it.
Oh God.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't go, like I said, as long as you don't go into it with the expectations that this is a real movie, it's a comedy. It's not a horror movie.
All right. Well, that's thanks for tuning in and listening to this semi-good review. Was it a semi-good review?
I think it was a good review.
Yeah, it was a good review. But was the movie good? That's the question.
It's worth watching.
It's worth watching, just kind of like to say, I've seen it, and that is all.
I will not say good. I will not say bad.
Say bad.
It is worth watching.
All right. And are you chimichangas? And that's 1.
Game over, man! It's game over!
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.